together this evening as a body, as a community, and to do the business as it relates to our children and what's best for them. We pray, Lord, that you would be with our proceedings tonight, that you would bring wisdom, that you would bring discernment, that you would bring calm, respect, and clarity in all the deliberations that we have this evening. We pray, Lord, in all of this, that you would be glorified. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the August 11th board meeting. At this time, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda and meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Guthrie. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor. All right, the next item on our agenda this evening are our district highlights. And we've got Mr. Brian Bohannon.
Thank you, Dr. Wimberly, Mr. Doherty, board members. Very excited. 2 great district highlights this evening covering some outstanding staff achievement. First, I'd like to welcome Dr. Priscilla Johnson, principal of Joseph R. Pye Elementary School, for highlight number 1.
Good evening, school board, board chair Wimberly, Superintendent Doherty. I am so proud to announce that Shannon Cruz, an absolutely outstanding educator at Joe Pye Elementary School, has been awarded a Fulbright Teacher Exchange Award for 25-26 by the U.S. Department of State and the Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board. This is an award that only about 800 folks in the U.S. are awarded a year. As a Fulbright Teacher Exchange recipient, Ms. Cruz will participate in a fall course on global perspectives in education. She will attend a Fulbright Symposium in Washington, D.C. with fellow educators. She will travel overseas for 2 to 3 weeks in 2026. I think she's choosing India. And she completes a capstone project focused on advancing global education in our schools. This honor is especially meaningful to me as about 15 years ago, I was able to travel to Ghana, West Africa as a student at Charleston Southern University with a Fulbright Scholar Award winner. It was a completely free trip that was over $2,000 and a college student couldn't afford it. It was a journey that forever shaped my life and the trajectory of my educational career. I know firsthand the transformative power of stepping into another culture, into building connections, and returning home with fresh perspectives that enrich not only our classrooms, but our entire community. Please join me in congratulating Shannon on this amazing opportunity to represent our community and our school district on a global stage.
Incredible. Up next, I'd like to welcome Ms. Deb Doherty, our Assistant Director of Instructional Technology, to talk about a great trip that her team took this summer.
Thank you for
this opportunity, Madam Chair, Mr. Doherty, board members. We'd like to celebrate our ITS team, Dorchester District 2's incredible team of instructional technology specialists proudly presented the district at ISTE Live 25 in San Antonio, one of the world's largest educational technology conferences with over 14,000 attendees. This team showcased DD2's innovative practices to a global audience through multiple successful presentations. Their micro-learning magic session highlighted a creative, flexible approach to professional development, while a live demo with partner ScreenPal demonstrated how screen recording tools empower teachers district-wide. They also presented a poster session on DD2's implementation of a digital learning environment, ensuring students and teachers can connect in creative, meaningful, and tech-enhanced ways. From the Alamo to the expo floor, the team shared DD2's innovation story with pride. So we'd like to congratulate our outstanding ITS team, Jenna Bohannon, Brittany Carter, Tamika Dunn, Patrick Dunn, Tiffany Tate, and Lisa Houlihan for elevating teaching and learning on an international stage.
Congratulations, ITS team. This concludes tonight's district highlights. Another proud day on Team Dorchester.
All right, the next item on our agenda this evening are board committee reports, and we will start with our policy committee. Ms. Bates?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We don't have any policies for today. We just have a list of our upcoming meetings for the school year through December. So as you can see, they're up there. And that's all we have for today.
All right, thank you very much. Next, we have our finance committee. Mr. Guthrie?
Yeah, I look forward to having the finance committee meet in 2 weeks, and we have other lists of meetings throughout the year.
All right, very good. And then facilities, Mr. Farnsworth?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing to report from the actual committee tonight. You can see our upcoming committee meetings for future dates, and then we do have information, of course, that Mr. Doherty will be presenting to us for facilities a little bit later in the meeting. So, thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. So as you can see, we have the Policy, Finance, and Facilities Committee meetings set for the remainder of the year. So board members, if you will just make a note of those on your calendar. It's great to have that done ahead of time for us. So thank you all for that. All right, next item on our agenda this evening are public comments on agenda items. So just to reiterate our policy regarding our public comments. Public comments on agenda items should, speakers may address only items printed on the agenda for that particular meeting. Speakers are required to complete a sign-in card 5 minutes prior to the beginning of the board meeting. Speakers will be recognized by the chair to speak for no longer than 3 minutes. The board has set aside 20 total minutes for public comment, and speakers must remain behind the podium at all times and must not remove the microphone or other equipment from their location at the podium. And if you will please go up and around as we've done for our other public comments in the past. So if you'll just come down that aisle right there when your name is called. Thank you so much. So this evening we do have one public comment on an agenda item, and that is Mr. Jason Brockert.
I did bring a printed copy of the agenda, just so I'm sure that I'm staying on the agenda. Excuse me. I would like to speak on agenda item 7, the superintendent's report. But similar to what I've said before, this comment is about the structural impossibility of any citizen doing this in an informed way. Everything that's printed on here is the same thing that's available on the website. So without being able to see the presentations, I can't really intelligently comment on them. Tonight's agenda asks the board to take action on a policy committee item, but of course we already heard that there were no policies to take action on, but that's what it has on the agenda. The agenda itself states that documentation has been provided to all board members in advance to ensure an extensive and thorough review, but the public doesn't get anything to review in advance, however non-extensively. My question is pretty simple. I'll rephrase what I've done before. Why is the public, the community that you are elected to serve, not afforded the same basic respect of a thorough review prior to coming to the board meeting? So one of the things in the agenda is approval of consent agenda and meeting minutes. I've actually recently brought this up, that public comments are no longer summarized on the meeting minutes. Doesn't really lend itself to transparency, as I've said before. So you approved meeting minutes from the last meeting, but I'll tell you that my comments from the last meeting just say that there was one comment. So my comments have been reduced to a number without substance per the board agenda and policy. I would like to comment on the board chair's report, but I can't review anything to comment on it. I would like to comment on the first days of the school year, but all I have is update on the first days of the 2025-2026 school year. Maybe I could comment on the resolution authorizing the issuances of GO bonds through SCAGO. Except I would have to do extra work to find out what that even entails. I have a bullet point that says you're going to talk about that, but I don't have anything to review. The public does not have anything to review. So it is impossible to actually comment effectively on agenda items. So with that, I would like for DD2 to break the silence on youth suicide. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Brockert. All right, the next item on our agenda this evening is our board chair's report. And so, board members, as you can see, we do have several upcoming events and conferences listed. Ms. Wanda has done a great job here of listing our conferences and giving us the dates and also letting us know when the registration deadline is for each of those. So that will be very helpful in planning. So if you will check your calendars and let Wanda know if you are interested in attending the conference or seminar is listed, and she will be happy to get you registered. Any questions regarding those dates? Okay, all right, great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next item on our agenda this evening is our superintendent's report.
Madam Chair and the rest of the board, we have several items that we'll discuss this evening. The first is the first days of school. And just wanted to update you on the first 3 days, and we had a great first 3 days. Our team puts out a district liaisons in which we all go out and visit schools. And one thing we did notice throughout the year was all our campuses were clean. We had a great vibe going through all our buildings, and a lot of them were calm and very positive atmosphere. This is the first time we were fully staffed in a lot of our buildings, which has really created to that. So again, great first few 3 days. Transportation overall good. We did have some issues with our special education transportation, was not up to our standards, so we're reviewing that to improve those processes and procedures. We are fully staffed with 160 drivers and 3 subs. The first day we had 6 bus drivers get sick, so we had to do some double back routes. So that created some issues for us for some of the arrival and pickup times. And so then moving on, food services, that's been a good transition to Airmark. They're still hiring cafeteria workers and monitors at this time. You can kind of see the participation the first day, 3,200 meals. The second day, 4,700 for breakfast. And then lunch, you can see again about another 1,200 the next day in lunch. So we're excited to see those numbers increase. We did have an issue at one of our high schools last week where we did run out of our meals, and we had some alternate be able to give students. And so we're able to meet with Airmark, and they're very responsive to get a 10% to 20% over the total number of students. So that does not happen. Also, we have put together a Star of a School staff survey, and that will be done through the Thought Exchange. That was sent out last Friday, and then we'll report back out on that on August 25th. So that'll go out to all of our staff, which includes about convocation, professional development, and those things. And then the next thing we put on here is we have changed the Beach Hill parent pickup line. That has changed. Why did we do this? We had an issue providing emergency access to East Edisto Middle School, and you can see this. That's a picture of the East Edisto Drive going back next to Beach Hill. That area, we had too many cars and we could not get any emergency personnel back there, and so this is why we had to change a new traffic pattern. So we have about approximately 1.5 miles off the road to keep traffic off Highway 61, and also the access to East Edisto Middle School is open for emergency vehicles. And so our times are continuing to get better in the morning for drop-off and also for pickup. So we're excited about that. And then the next thing we're preparing for, as you know, if you're watching the weather and you live here in the Low Country, we see something that's spinning out there, and so we are here busy trying to get ready if we do have to have an inclement weather day. Again, for the board to know, we have 3 makeup days, and those makeup days are in the second semester of our calendar. And then we can use 5 e-learning days at our discretion for inclement weather. And so all of our schools are preparing to do a mock e-learning day for one day this week or early next week. And again, that preparedness and making sure everybody knows kind of where we're going to go, dust off those plans of communication to parents if something does happen like this. And so, again, just trying to make sure we're prepared when we see that. And also, I have one other item to kind of go over with you, and I'll have Mrs. Katie Barker talk a little bit about enrollment counts and kind of where we're at, the 135-day count last year, and she's going to kind of go over some of those. So, Mrs. Barker.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. As Mr. Doherty said, I am just here to kind of share our projected numbers versus the number of students that have shown up so far. We look at registration numbers throughout the summer. We look at withdrawals. But really, now that the doors are open and students are here, you can see, starting from day 1 last week all the way through today, our numbers continue to increase at each level, elementary, middle, and high. We are still slightly below our projections, which I would say is pretty typical for about where we are now. It's usually closer to that 10-day mark where we will get back to where we really are anticipating. I will say that we have Sand Hill, where we know we have a lot of growth, and East Edisto are our 2 schools that we are above projections, more than just a couple of students. We did plan for that allocation-wise, but overall, we feel like we're in a good place. We'll continue to monitor these numbers. Our schools are working so hard calling, following up with those students that haven't come to school yet. If you look for day 4, which is actually today, you'll see kind of a big increase. Sometimes families are just more used to a Monday, even though we communicate that a lot. Also, Charleston County starts school tomorrow, and Berkeley County starts school on Wednesday. So we're anticipating seeing another big spike there. So just wanted to update you on where we are so far for number of enrollments for students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barker. Any questions that the board may have on any of that information?
This is a question. So for the mock e-learning day, that doesn't count against our total of 5, right?
That is correct. It
Thank
does
you.
not. No, great question. So basically what our students will do is learn how to log on, have their login, especially for our elementary students, and so they'll be able to do that. Sometimes our teachers will trade classrooms to see, okay, students know how to access information on Schoology, and so that will take place not like a whole week, but just maybe a half a day so they know how to do that. So, great question. If there's no other further questions, we'll invite Mr. Joe Debney of the YMCA up here. He's going to talk to you a little bit about a partnership, and we're very excited to bring him up here today to talk a little bit about a membership and be able to partner with the YMCA for our employees. And this is all employees, possibly being able to give a discount for family memberships. So, Mr. Debney, we really appreciate you taking the time to come up here and speak to this. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me, and thank you for your service on the board as well. My wife was a former teacher of this school district, and so it's a great opportunity that we believe we could continue this partnership with the YMCA and the school district. So just kind of going through some of the information, we believe that we can come out to your facilities, do community health programs for your teachers, for your staff, and this kind of goes into all of the different ways that we could continue to increase the health initiatives that you might have. But then it allows us to bring these community health programming to the school board. And sort of in these things, it gives us, on this slide, it tells us a lot of the different things that the YMCA offers. We have 3 branches in the community, but we also have many more things that we go out into community to do. And this allows for us to even do some of those group fitness classes on campuses for the school district, for some of the teachers in the different schools, depending on where we want to do that. But then it also kind of gives a drop down of all the different opportunities that we have within each facility. Obviously, just a few blocks away, we have the downtown facility, but then just down the road, we have our sports facility that we're getting ready to ground break on, which has childcare and outdoor pool. But then out in the Ponds community, it's a very smaller facility akin to what we have at downtown. But this allows us to kind of go through all the different opportunities that we have and what we can bring to you all as staff, teachers, school board members, anybody that's associated with Dorchester District 2. But I can go into any detail that you would like me to do, Mr. Daugherty.
Yeah, Mr. Debney, I think the big thing is going to that slide that talks about the memberships and the employer contribution. And this is something that we'd ask the board tonight to take action on, but you can kind of see in that slide, Mrs. Thomas, if you could kind of go to that slide. If you can see there, you can see that the employer contribution for a family, a young adult, an adult, a senior, family plus one, and senior plus one, you can see it ranges from $5.28 a month to possibly $15.68 a month. However, if you look at it, you look at the standard rate, but if we go to the corporate, instead of paying $78, it goes down to $62, and you can see what we would be paying and the employee would be paying and then the Y does. Especially the big thing with the YMCA doing it this way, there's no joiner fee. Am I right, Mr. Debney, on that? And then also our employees would have access to any of the sports programs for their children, anything else that would be included in that?
Yep, swim lessons, group exercise classes, all of our community health programming, any of the stuff that we go out into the public to do. We have a whole volunteerism arm that we would obviously welcome school board participants, staff, teachers to be a part of that. We just posted this week as our annual campaign week, and we talked about how we build beds in the community for kids that don't have beds. Those are types of programs that we would enjoy to have more volunteers come into. You don't have to be a YMCA member to do that, but it certainly helps.
And when we look at this, when Ms. Meunier and we sat down and we're talking with Mr. Debney, we're looking at, what is the cost of this for the district? We're looking at about around $130,000 to $150,000 that we feel like we can afford when we're talking about retention and recruitment for staff. We feel like this is a very nice thing to be able to offer, especially when you're looking at the health and wellness for all of our employees. This is not just for teachers, this is for every employee, bus drivers, aides, cooks, anybody that works for DD2 can take advantage of this. And so when Mr. Debney approached us about doing this, we thought this would be a great way to be able to give back to our employees. And so Ms. Meunier, I don't know if you had anything else to add to that, but any other questions that we could entertain from the board, but we just felt like this would be a great partnership.
All right, all I have is a wisecrack. So you're offering pickleball lessons. Can you actually affirm that I'd be able to play pickleball?
Jim, I'll play pickleball.
Okay, very good. Now, in all seriousness, so from a district standpoint, our contribution to this would be $130,000 to $150,000. I assume that we have contemplated that in terms of the funding that we have. Okay.
Yes, sir. And one thing we talked about, we had some unencumbered funds. We felt like this could go toward our employees. This would be a great benefit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, board members, if there's no other questions at this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the district's participation in the YMCA corporate membership program as presented. Motion made by Ms. Bates. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. King. Any discussion or questions? All right. Okay. Yes.
Is this a commitment for a certain period of time, or?
This is just a 1 year
for
right now.
Okay.
And we'll go year to year on this, especially when we look at our funding, if this is something we can continue to do, but we're just going for 1 year at this point. Yes, great question.
Well, that's a wise decision to do it that way.
Great question.
Actually, I have a question too. Is there a cap on the number of members who are allowed to take advantage of it? No. Okay. No cap. All right. Great. All right. Any other questions? All right. Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor. Thank you, Mr. Debney.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Debney. Now we'll bring up Ms. Meunier. She's going to talk a little bit about 2 items, the resolution of authorizing the assurance of GO bonds through SCAGO, and also the intent to award bid for Oak Brook Campus Building Envelope Project. So, Ms. Meunier.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Mr. Doherty. Yes, the first item that we bring tonight is to ask for resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $37.5 million of general obligation bonds through the SCAGO program. We do this every year. This is to help pay for our annual installment purchase revenue bonds that were issued in 2013 and 2015 and then refunded in 2023. And this is the payments on those. Also, it is for the $22,993,000 that was included for in your board packet for the capital projects. $11.7 million was part of the $12 million that y'all authorized in the capital plan for 3 years. We asked for $12 million last year, this year, and next year. The projects actually totaled up to the anticipated amount of $11,736,000, and then the remainder would be $11,257,000 for the additional items listed. So this evening we are asking for your approval to authorize a resolution for the sale of those bonds, which will be at the end of this month, and we would get the funding in September.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the resolution as presented by Ms. Miguel.
All right, thank you, Mr. Farnsworth. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Mr. Lee. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor.
Thank you. The next item that we have for finance is for the approval of the intent to award a bid for the Oak Brook campus, for Oak Brook Elementary and for Oak Brook Middle Schools, for their exterior wall repairs, The information was loaded into your packets, and it was confidential because it was low bid, and we did not contact the contractor until the board would approve this. So if you would be so kind to approve this bid so that we can continue working Oak Brook Elementary and Oak Brook Middle School for their exterior wall renovation that was part of the referendum.
All right, board members, at this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the intent to award for Oak Brook Elementary and Oak Brook Middle School building project as presented. Motion made by Ms. Bates.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Lee. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, the next item we have on the agenda is the annexation behind Gregg Middle School in Somerville High School, ball fields in blue, and I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Rhonda Grice, and this deals with 911 and emergency. So, Mrs. Grice, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. With the extension of the Berlin G. Meyer Parkway finishing up, staff members of Dorchester County started to look at some parcels that were connected to the Berlin G. Meyer Parkway for the 911 emergency response service. And they reached out because they identified 2 parcels you can see that are marked in blue on your map there. They total a little over 5.5 acres. They're currently under the jurisdiction of Dorchester County. And Dorchester County has asked that we annex it into the town of Somerville. Everything shaded in green around it is already in the jurisdiction of the town of Somerville. So they're simply asking that we would go through the process to annex those 2 parcels to make the 911 emergency response more cohesive.
Just a quick question. What does the orange color indicate?
The orange is actually Dorchester County at their planning, at the town of Somerville Planning Commission. Dorchester County actually requested annexation of 4 parcels that they have running along the parkway. But the orange that you see there is Dorchester County.
Excuse me, just want to make sure. So looking at the map, it does not look like it, but we are not giving the town access to anything else to annex based on this, correct?
No, sir. We would still retain the land, and I apologize, I don't know that I stated it's right there between Greenway Boulevard and the Somerville High School ball field. It's a little hard to see on the map at the Gregg Middle School campus, but nothing would change other than the jurisdiction being the town of Somerville.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mrs. Grice.
Thank you.
All right, board members, at this time, I'd ask for a motion to agree to the annexation of the property discussed into the town of Somerville from unincorporated Dorchester County as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Bates, seconded by Ms. King. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor.
The next item we have on our agenda is our facility report, and Mr. Tony Souls and Mr. Jeff Smith will talk a little bit about our referendum projects and how those are going. There's quite a bit to update there, and also some of our capital improvement projects. So, Mr. Souls.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Doherty. Things are going well at Sand Hill. Pretty much all of our projects are on track. It's been a little wet for the past 10 days or so, but they're trudging along, doing pretty good through the mud. On Sand Hill, the second floor slab is in. They're going up with the masonry walls on the interior, and then they'll close up the exterior, then they'll start the waterproofing as soon as the masons get through with all the structural block. At Somerville Elementary, the addition that I said last time, the demolition is completed back there to a point where we don't need a land disturbance permit. We still don't have those. We're still waiting for word from the town of Somerville, the MS4. There's a discussion going on as to how we're going to treat the stormwater leaving the site. So we're trying to work through that, but we'll be through that probably within the next week or so, and get that the permitting for that job going and completed. Ashley Ridge High School, the renovations out there going well. The first phase 1 is complete. We've got a verbal approval to use the space that we did this summer. We took 2 large classrooms, divided those classrooms. Now we have 4 regular sized classrooms, and they're being used as we speak. The start of phase 2 is coming up as soon as we get all the permitting and construction documents. They have been submitted to OSF, and as soon as we get those approved, we'll start on phase 2. Somerville High School gym schematic design, as you see, has been submitted to OSF, and we're just waiting on the queue to come around for a review from OSF. At Fort Dorchester High School, the field work is done. The schematic design is about completed, and they should be submitting that to OSF sometime this week, and we're hopeful to get that one going as quickly as possible. Like I say, the field work is just in progress. It's actually completed today. They went out last week and did some geotech shots, and they're wrapping that up. For the other CIP construction, Oak Brook Middle School, they've got all the steel framing in for the roofing at Oak Brook Middle. All the block work is done. This project too is trudging through the mud, trying to make as much progress as they can. It's not as bad as Sand Hills. Sand Hills, that's pretty muddy out there, but this one is, their waterproofing is in progress. They're going to spray those walls as soon as it dries out enough and continue on with the roof decking. The elementary school, as you can see in the bottom photo, they're ready to pour the slab. They're just waiting on the weather to present an opportunity to get that done. The retention pond and the outfall for that retention pond is completed. And the bus maintenance facility, we're still working with our architects, our design folks, and the contractor to coordinate the construction on that. And hopefully we can start the actual construction on that sometime around the first of the calendar year 2026. Any question on any of those projects? Mr. Smith.
Turn it over to Mr. Jeff Smith, talking a little bit about what's happened this summer. So if you've not been in some of our buildings, a lot of them got a big facelift, and so Jeff's going to talk a lot about that.
Good evening. So, yeah, we had a couple projects done this summer, maybe I'd say, but I just want to highlight some of the bigger ones. The Newington Elementary project, where we did all the abatement of the transite panels in the hallways and pods. A little bit of before and after, well, mostly after we pulled the panels, so you can kind of see how much area was actually affected by the project. I think the project went well, turned out well in the end. It was, I got a few more gray hairs than I had before getting through it, but a lot of learning on this one, and so we're getting prepared for next summer when we actually tackle all the classrooms, which is going to be much more in depth and much more involved. Let's see. Whoops, I got it. Flowertown, same thing. As you can see from the pictures, you know, we did the same exact scope of work there. A lot of things came up that we didn't plan for originally. You know, we didn't realize we'd have to replace all the outlets in the whole school because they were out by about 1/4 of an inch, and some of that old wiring was frayed, to say the least, but it's all been upgraded and changed out now. So that one actually turned out well as well. And then another one that we were pretty proud of that turned out really nice is the DuBose Middle School courtyard. As you can see from the aerial that Mr. Bohannon took for us, that it turned out very nice, and the students were able to have a nice space to occupy on the first day of school. And let's see, just a little update on some things that are currently ongoing. The bane of my existence will be no, I'm just kidding. We actually have all of the vestibules installed, and they are going to be installing the remaining, because they had to put them in and then obviously come back and measure for glass, because it is a resistant glass, not a bulletproof glass, but a bullet-resistant glass. So it's all the glass is in place at the 3 sites, and so those are getting installed starting tomorrow at Fort Dee Elementary. And Windsor Hill, roofing is ongoing. It'll probably carry out through, I would think, October break at the minimum, maybe till the first part of November, but we've got a good plan working around the campus with Mr. Nooter. So that was going well. We've got 4 other roofing products that are in design that'll hopefully be, being complete in the next month or so. And we also have the Beach Hill, Austin Middle School, Newington, Flowertown ceiling grid projects. So those have already been designed. We've got building approvals from OSF. It's now going to be a point where we're going to put it out through procurement, probably in September, so we have plenty of planning time, because it's going to be, like I said, a major scope of project at those campuses, doing all that work this summer. Maybe dividing it up into 2 summers, not quite sure yet, but hoping to get a big chunk of it done this summer. Somerville High School, we have a restroom upgrade project where we're going to be replacing all their sinks in their group restrooms, as well as adding hand dryers in all the restrooms. So that's actually kicking off tomorrow after school. They're going to start working on the hand dryer portion. The sinks were a long lead item, and when we awarded it, it was in July, so we don't expect those to come in until probably late September, early October. But we'll coordinate doing that after hours and weekends and things of that nature. The AMS, DMS restroom upgrades, our staff engineers in the process of designing that now, so we're hoping to get that out for bid probably October timeframe. Oops. That's all I had, unless anybody has any questions about anything specific.
Any questions for Mr. Smith or Mrs. Souls? Mr. Souls, thank you for all your work. I know you guys have been very, very busy, so thank you for this.
Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say I have a very special feeling about Alston, because that's where I spent my elementary and middle school years. Believe it or not, that's where I would have graduated prior to integration. And I went over in that building the other day for the first day of school, and it was just beautiful. Yeah. I mean, removing those lockers made a world of difference. The kids have greater access in the hall to move, and the colors are just wonderful. Now, I've been to some of the other schools as well, and they all are beautifully cleaned and look so good. And so I'm just imploring our children, our students, to help the custodians out by picking up after themselves and making sure if they drop something, they pick it up and not wait on the custodial folks to do it. But if you have an opportunity to visit our school, try to get a pass and do so, because I'm amazed, and I've heard other folks that come into our district talk about, how much they appreciate being here. So we want to keep it that way, but kudos to you all. You did a great job. When I first saw all the work that had to be done, in your head, you go like, mm-hmm. But guess what? I have to bite that back. It was good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any updates on ponds?
No, at this time, we do not have any update on the ponds at this time. We're still in kind of status quo. Not heard anything from the developer or the county. Again, we've got all our permits. Everything's ready to go. I've not heard anything since I think the county was trying to do some things as far as annexation, those types of things. Not heard anything.
Had to ask.
And the last item we have on the agenda would be the student recommendations.
All right, board members, is everyone okay with proceeding with these student enrollment recommendations in open session?
Go ahead, Ms. Powell.
I did have a couple questions, so I think we may have to go in for a short one.
For the ones listed under this
transfers?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we will hold on.
There's only 2 in this one, and then there's a list. Excuse me? This is a separate list.
okay.
This is like the two.
We can hold and vote on all of them after executive session. That's fine. All right, we'll just hold it and vote then. So, all right. Is that everything, Mr. Doherty?
Yes, that's everything I have, Madam Chair.
All right, great, excellent. Then at this time, we will move to our next agenda items, our public comments on non-agenda items, and we do have several this evening. I am going to go over our procedures for these public comments. Public comments are welcomed. However, the board will not take immediate action or respond to public comments at this meeting, as board members are without authority to act independently as individuals in official matters. Public comments should not include gossip, defamatory words, or abusive or vulgar language. Any person wishing to address the board must submit a comment card 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. That has been done. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures and should be issue oriented. No specific names are to be used in public comments. Comments regarding an employee or student will not be heard in open session. Groups addressing the same topic should select one speaker. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, up to 20 total minutes for comments on agenda items and 20 total comments on non-agenda items. Commenters must remain behind the podium during their public comment period and must not remove any items, including the microphone, from the podium. The board reserves the right to terminate any presentation which does not adhere to these guidelines. And then please, as I mentioned earlier, proceed up and around to reach the podium. And if you believe that your comment might not follow these procedures, you certainly are still welcome to come up and just make sure that you stay in line with the procedures that as I read. All right, so our first one this evening is Mrs. Melody Shabala.
Dr. Wimberly, Mr. Doherty, and school board. I am Melody Shabala. I'm the proud assistant principal at Joseph R. Pye Elementary School. And I just wanted to say that despite what may be said here or what has been said on the internet, JPES embodies 3 very important characteristics: diversity, inclusion, and love. I have had a front row seat to the amazing and inclusive culture that our principal has single-handedly cultivated. Due to her leadership in the last 3 years, our school has brought back award ceremonies, increased parent involvement, developed a new PTA, a strong SIC committee, celebrated students big and small with Merit Mondays, elaborate PBIS celebrations, and Multicultural Awareness Week. She's refreshed hallways, lobbies, and conference rooms and raised test scores so much so that we received an excellent on our school report card this past year. Our staff is happy. Our students are happy. As soon as you enter into JPES, you can feel the love for our children. It's palpable. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for our principal. Her passion for her job is unmatched. I say all this only because a lot of negative has been said about this school and many of our principals' decisions, and her character has been questioned. I can assure everyone here and anyone who is listening that our principal is the best principal, mentor, leader, friend, and overall person that I know. Despite what some may think, she is careful and meticulous over the people that she hires. Short story, 16 months ago, I had a baby. Not long after that, I was doing a reference call for an old colleague, and the principal had asked me if I would want my child to be taught by the teacher I was recommending. It jolted me. I hesitated. I think so, I responded. Being a new mom, this was something that I hadn't pondered before. This year, without a doubt, I would trust any and all of our staff to teach my child. I stand by this comment. I stand by our staff, and I will forever stand by Dr. Johnson. Thank you for your time and allowing us the honor of working and learning from a leader who demonstrates how to handle hardships with grace, dignity, empathy, and love.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Shabala. All right, our next comment is Alexander, I'm sorry, I'm having difficulty reading your last name. Wygant, is that correct? Wyatt, first name Alexander. Right. Okay, perhaps he is no longer here. All right. Is that how you think the name? I don't want to miss somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
Wyatt. Yeah, definitely Alexander.
It looks like W-Y-G-A-N-T.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on then. Okay. All right. Next, we have Morgan Grady.
Thank you, members of the school board. My name is Morgan Grady, and I live within the Somerville School District. I would like to start out the speech by saying that I think we can all agree that we want our children to be safe, happy, and healthy at school. As we all know, some things have been posted online that is diversive and defamatory, to say the least. And one of the big things that has been a topic of conversation is their education. To give you some context, I graduated from Savannah College of Art and Design with my BFA in 2023, so I can say that I know a few things about this college. It is a very high, intense college where we complete 4 to 6 projects every single quarter for 10 weeks. We have 3 quarters every 10 weeks, or excuse me, we have 3 quarters every year for a total of 4 years. One of the first and last things that are required of us is to market ourselves. Social media, business cards, emails, all of that separate, just to showcase our art. I think that we can all agree that we've done some crazy things in college, and to have that be used against us in our future careers is absurd. And again, how I mentioned, we all want our children to be safe and happy in schools. And if you think that non-binary or gay people are an issue here, they are not. They are not trying to undermine that. They are not. In case you didn't know, the leading cause of death between children under the age of 16 is gun violence and school shootings. And while these teachers will teach you how to say your ABCs, draw within the lines, read at an accurate level, they will also put their lives on the line to protect your children. And I don't think it matters whether they are non-binary, gay, Muslim, straight, whatever, because they will be taking care of your children. I implore you to not listen to the comments that are posted on social media, because the voice of one is not the voice of all. And lastly, if you're not mad about any of this and you're not saying anything, your silence is complicit. And so, yeah, if you have any other questions, I am more than welcome to meet with any of you because I've got the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grady. All right, our next public comment is Mr. Mike Montai.
All right. Good evening, and thanks for having me. It's a privilege to be here, and for a lot of reasons. I appreciate everyone in front of me and the educators behind me, and for those that aren't here or those that are watching online, it's the spouse of a retired teacher from DD2 with 2 kids that have graduated here. But more importantly, my father-in-law was the principal in this building in 1969, and when it moved it where it is today in 1970, he was the principal there. So it's got kind of a unique connection. But I'm here to advocate for the softball program at Somerville High School. I'm a behind-the-scenes guy, but I like to get things done, and I like to help get things done in a cost-effective way. And I've been able to get people together and do things to save a substantial amount of money, because I do understand where we are as a district financially. But we've been playing the long game on a softball field facility for no particular reason. And I can't explain it. There's probably folks here that can. I think the coach would be here to advocate for that as well, but unfortunately she couldn't attend. But the district committed $100,000 to a bleacher project 3 years ago. And in the Booster Club was asked to pay $50,000 extra to get it done. In conjunction with that project, we being the friends of the program, built a backstop that didn't cost the district anything. It's about a $150,000 project. We're trying to get a concession stand press box built. We've had 2 bids out. Both have been canceled. And there are no restrooms at that facility. And by the way, you're talking about a team that has back-to-back state championships and a really deep run last year. I would just say we've got to find a way to get something done out there. It's a priority. It's real low on the food chain with you're talking about schools and safety issues and things like that. And I understand that. But there's a way to get it done. And the school, I'm just here to ask you to commit to get this done before the kids come back to play in the 26 season, which you can get it done by February 1st of 2026. If you'll make that a goal, that'd be great. And I'm just here to be a part of it. And I appreciate your time, and I'll yield my time to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monti. All right, and our next comment is Mrs. Cynthia Johnson. Johnson.
A little short, so I'm going to bring this down. Whoever's coming after can bring it back up. Good evening, President, school board members, and superintendent. My name is Cynthia Johnson. I am a mother of 2 boys, one at Oak Brook Elementary, the other just starting 6th grade at Rawlings Middle School of the Arts. I'm here with my fellow mother, Khadijah Stokes, who is also a mom of 2 boys. That's how we met at Oak Brook Elementary and Oak Brook Middle School. It was actually Ms. Stokes that encouraged me to come here, and it's our first school board meeting. But she's actually interested in becoming a teacher, so that's why she wanted to come here, and she will. She'll be great. But the reason why I'm here for public comment is really to thank you and the district for implementing the free meal program this year. This is something that helps all students, all kids, and especially the families and the parents who it may be a hardship to be able to afford to pay for those meals. Now all kids are able to get that nutrition that they need to learn. And I just thought that was such a big thing that you all did, so thank you. I also just want to give a shout out to Oak Brook Elementary. It was such an amazing school, great staff, great principal. Just want to give that shout out to them. And then lastly, we look forward to a great school year. Thank you all for your service, and I hope this is our first, but I hope this is not our last. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson. All right, and that concludes our public comments for this evening. All right, so board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to convene into executive session for student enrollment recommendations as well as for personnel-related matters.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Guthrie.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Lee. Yes, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I know sometimes they get stuck in that.
Was there?
He did fill out the card.
Am I missing it? Let me look. Well, why did I feel like somebody told me that he was here to?
Stuff it back in with the blanks.
All right, I am sorry, Mr. Moore. I apologize. We found it. So, Mr. Brooks Moore.
Thank you very much. I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me, but I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. I want to wish each of you a very positive and productive school year. I just hope and pray that the parents of this district realize how blessed they are to have their kids in DD2. As you know, I was a principal here for years. It's a great district. I have a daughter who is a principal also. I'm here tonight to place in consideration again the name of Mr. Charlie Stoudemire for one of the new schools. I am very persistent, and I'm going to keep placing his name until the decision is made. But Charlie was an administrator in this district. He was also a school board member. He served 8 years, received more votes at the at-large districts than anybody in the history of this school. He was a national distinguished principal. He was president of the South Carolina Administrators Association, and I don't have time to list all his accolades, but Charlie was an administrator who was not only respected, but a lot of administrators, and I can speak from experience, aren't loved sometimes, but he was loved and respected by his teachers, by his board members, by everyone in this committee. And Charlie, in all my years of knowing him, never used his vision as an excuse. Charlie Stoudemire only has 20% of his vision. His latter years of his experience, he fought Parkinson's disease. He could have stuck his head in the sand. He could have surrendered, but he stood forward and he served the children of South Carolina and this school district. And I can't say enough of those accolades. He, to me, is a principal's principal. He is a teacher's principal. He is a man of integrity. He is a man who I think deserves, not only myself, but a lot of other people, to have a school named in his honor. Now, I don't know what it takes to get a school named in your honor. I don't have to worry about that myself. But if Charlie Stoudemire doesn't qualify, I'll yield to anybody else. He is a credit to this school district, to this community, to integrity, to professionalism, and everything that education stands for. Again, thank you for this opportunity, and I want to thank each of you for the time you put into this job. I ran for your job. I didn't get elected, but I do respect you, and I thank you for what you do every day for our kids. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. All right. Alexander, do you want to tell me how to say your last name? I apologize. I'm sorry. Wygant. Okay, you can come on up. Yes, come on up.
Good evening. My name is Erica. I'm speaking on behalf of my family, neighbors, and other families that attend one of our DD2 schools. We have deep and valid concerns about a brand new first-year teacher who is showing some violent tendencies towards children.
All right,
And
I'm sorry. Please don't discuss any specific teacher in your public comments.
I didn't say a name. I didn't say a name.
Okay. Go ahead, you may continue.
They're showing this teacher who is still employed also decorated their new classroom.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you again. Please don't discuss a specific employee or personnel issue in the public comment.
Okay.
You can keep your comments broad to a certain issue if you'd like to proceed.
Well, then, I guess I will just state that there are public, violent, and sexual opinions that are being portrayed that should not be portrayed in any schools, especially ones that are for 4 to 10-year-olds. We have spoken to the board in regards to everything. All I'm just asking is that we understand that she's on paid leave. I'm sorry. I just ask that you review some drawings before making any decisions of what's happening at certain schools. Once you post things to social media, it's a digital footprint. And whether that is a display of your work or those of others, it's there to stay. And it's kind of scary, even if it's just meant to be the way you express yourself. And I just think that just needs to be viewed. And if you saw the photos or any photos that those are happening, it's just kind of scary and concerning. And without going into further detail of specific people, I mean, I know that you guys have all received multiple emails, so I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Ms. Wygant. All right, that concludes our public comments for this evening. So board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to convene into executive session for student enrollment recommendations as well as personnel-related matters.
So moved.
All right, motion made by Mr. Guthrie,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lee. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Ms. Powell. All right, motion carries 7 in favor. We are in executive session and we will return. To return to open session.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Lee and seconded by Mr. Guthrie. All right, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. She said yes. Ms. Powell said yes. All right, motion carries 7 in favor. We are back in open session. All right, board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to approve the student enrollment recommendations that were included under the superintendent's report. Motion
Second.
made by Ms. Bates, seconded by Mr. Guthrie. Any questions or discussion? All right,
Just
hearing.
fix the title of our superintendent on the one.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we will call for the vote. All right, motion carries 7 in favor.
She's logged in.
All right, board members, at this time, do we have any additional motions?
I'd like to make a motion to overturn the district's decisions as to enrollment requests for the below students, FC and CN.
All right, motion made by Ms. King. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Bates. Any question or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor. Okay, board members, do we have any additional motions?
I would like to make a motion to uphold the district's decisions to enrollment requests for all other presented appeals.
All right. Thank you. Motion made by Ms. King, seconded by Mr. Farnsworth. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor. Mr. Farnsworth? Motion to adjourn made by Mr. Farnsworth. Do I have a second? Second. Seconded by Ms. Bates. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Yes, ma'am, you do. Only if you're voting yes. Motion carries 7 in favor. We are adjourned.